You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio once again. We are here, and guess what? We have another show lineup for y'all today. We have a special guest, Ramona Galey. She has a website. You can check out ramonagaley.com. We're going to be talking about her life story. She is a life coach. She helps a lot of people, but she also, just like all of us, she has a special story. We're going to learn about her journey. In today's topic, we are going to talk about transforming adversity into opportunity. And we're going to learn more about Ramona's story. So first and foremost, Ramona, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really great, Shamaya. I'm so glad to be here. I'm really looking forward to our chat.
I appreciate your time. Everyone has adversity. Adversity, man, it just comes at you, especially when the sunshine is going in your life. So for us, I know you have some history of bumps in the road. Kind of share with the audience what some of the things that you had to go through that prepared you to be a coach.
Well, that's a really great question. So about 10 years ago, I had been with my partner for about 24 years, very, very beautiful, loving relationship, everything I could have ever wanted. And she was kind of my sunshine, my moon, and my everything. And I was very, very devoted to her. And she died of pancreatic cancer. She passed away in my arms. And I didn't have any spiritual paradigm at that time. And so I felt very, very bereft. I was planning on taking my own life and hadn't told anybody about it, didn't talk about it at all. I knew how I was going to do it. I was going to put a couple things in order and then head on out because I didn't see any reason to stick around. I genuinely thought that my only source of love, of true love, of unconditional love had just left forever. So I was getting ready to do that, and the phone rang, and it was her friend, Lordella, and she had just heard about Betty's passing, and she said, "Oh, Ramona, I'm so sorry to hear that. I just heard about it." And I was crying, and I was talking, and she said, "Well, wait a minute, you got to stop thinking like that." I was upset about these rings of Betty's. It was a stupid thing, but I was so upset about it. And she said, you have to stop thinking like that. And I said, well, I'm 55 years old, Lordell. I've been trying to control my thoughts my whole life, and I don't know how to do that. And she said, well, have you ever heard of Abraham Hicks? And I said, no, what's that? And so she started telling me, and she sent me a bunch of CDs. She sent me the names of 2 books. I went and got them. They were on the library shelf that day. And eventually bought them from Amazon and all that. And so I started learning about this thing called law of attraction that I had never heard of before. And it just resonated. And by the end of that first month, I said, you know what? I think this might be my path to be able to stay here. I started feeling a glimmer of hope. And that's where it all started. For me, it was a huge turnaround. I could say it was a series of small things over my life, but really, that was it. That was the turning point for me. And I started studying law of attraction just through Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks. And after a couple of years, I started really getting it. I really studied it a lot. And then I started teaching it. And then about 5 years ago, I was walking with a friend. We were actually in Asheville in a couple of days ahead of time. We were there for the Abraham Hicks workshop, and we were talking. We were hiking through the woods, beautiful day, and she started telling me about this light worker stuff that she'd been doing about psychics and mediums and stuff. And of course, Esther doesn't call herself a channel. She calls herself a teacher, but she's basically receiving source to answer other people's questions. And by the end of that day, I had this knowing that came upon me that I was going to be following in Esther Hicks' footsteps. I didn't say it quite like that. I just that's me. I'm going to be doing that. I don't know what that means, and so about a week later, some friends had me do it for them for the first time, and I've been doing it ever since. So my clients come to me and ask, any question, whatever is on their hearts, what on their minds, and I help them both privately and in a group. And so by me helping other people, it has very much furthered my transformation. I get healed every time I receive infinite intelligence or source, whatever you want to call it. When I receive that for other people, some part of me also gets healed every single time. And I've been doing it now for 5 years. So I've been very blessed by this whole, transformation, if you will. And I feel like I'll be kind of transforming for the rest of my life. I don't feel like it's something that stops, but that's kind of brings us up to today. That's my basic story.
When you mentioned that you found law of attraction, did that kind of give you like hope at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, or was that like something that you had to grow into? How was it for you with processing that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as soon as she started telling me, as soon as Laura Della started telling me about it on the phone, she described the original kind of metaphor that Abraham used was a cork. Imagine a cork floating in the water, like cork's real buoyant. And when you focus on negative things and you get all down on yourself and you say, unwanted things and you let other people's opinions sway you, you don't feel good. It's like you're holding your own cork down under the water. And all you got to do is stop doing that stuff. And it's like releasing your fingers. Like if you were holding a cork down under the water and it just pops to the top again. And that made sense to me in a way that made sense that nothing else. I mean, I had tried becoming a Christian. I had gone to friends meetings. I'd gone to Jewish, organizations. I'd tried meditating, Buddhism. Like I had tried a bunch of stuff and none of it stuck. And this just made so much sense. It was so simple. It was easy to understand. I could feel my body resonating every time I listened. I figured out very quickly that you could go on YouTube and put in Abraham Hicks death, Abraham Hicks abortion, Abraham Hicks drugs, Abraham like whatever. And the more I listened, the more it gelled. But I have to say it really, really resonated from the very beginning. I mean, I feel like we either know something is for us or we know it's not for us. And for some reason, my body was able to just really tell me by the resonance I felt in it. And of course, that's what I teach now with my clients. It's all about getting back into the body, like learning to trust and love your body again so that you can follow your own guidance. But I was just blessed enough in that moment, I guess because I had just hit rock bottom. I mean, I didn't have anywhere else to go. And most people probably don't experience this kind of massive, pivot point. But for me, it was immediate. It was very clear, and it gave me hope like nothing else had ever. It gave me enough hope to hold on so that I could actually start studying it. And I have to say, I was working from home then, and I put a lot of time into it. And I don't know that I could point to any particular day where it like really clicked more. It's just clicked and clicked and clicked and clicked and clicked. But it started from the very beginning. I gotta say, it was just so, well, for one thing, I really trusted Laura Della because her husband had died a couple of years ago in a very unfortunate way. And I had watched her go through that. And I remember thinking, boy, I would be a total mess if I was dealing with that. And so I knew that she kind of knew where I was coming from. So there was a big trust factor there. But I do have to say, I really jumped on with both hands and both feet right from the beginning.
We're talking to our guest today, Ramona Galey. Go to her website, ramonagaley.com. You work with your clients. You're helping them to get into alignment. Yeah. For our audience, kind of explain what your process is when you're trying to discover where they are, in their moment of life, and how you try to help them trying to find that structure, to find that turning point, if you will, so that they can flow.
Yeah. So my process is I go into, it's very similar to Esther Hicks. If you can look that up on YouTube, if you have any questions, Abraham Hicks. And she goes into a light trance. I go into what I call a light trance, and I start receiving infinite intelligence. So it's my subconscious or my inner being or God, or, different people call it different things, but there comes over me a very calm, deep, knowing stillness that knows the answers, that can read the client in a way that I, in my regular, day to day, I can't do it. And so I do this thing that's kind of beyond me somehow, and people ask questions. And what I'm doing is is listening to their words and also reading their vibration at the same time. And so and also putting out, like I'm just putting out this ton of unconditional love. So when people can feel, even people who with very much, not much spiritual paradigm can really feel the presence. And so they start to relax and they start to rise up to meet this higher vibration, which is really, getting into alignment just means feeling better. It's like feeling the happier emotions like joy and happiness and giddiness and ecstasy and, hope and all these positive states of being, as opposed to, anger or shame or guilt. And so as they start to rise, then they can really connect and feel. They start to receive what I'm putting out. And so we have like two conversations going on. One's verbal, where they ask questions and I answer their questions specifically about their life. But I'm also giving them feedback on where their vibration is on that particular topic, because a lot of times we get all caught up in our heads and we can't feel our own vibration. We don't know what our intuition is telling us. We can't really tell at first, because we're really used to, following rules and other people's, desires and stuff. So really it's just kind of helping everybody get back into who they truly are, what they really want, what they know for themselves, their intuition, their internal guidance. And through that series of conversations and meeting like that, they get used to, one of the things I do with my group is we meet twice a week, so that you really get that momentum going, so that you know what it feels like and you know how to feel for it the next time. To feel true unconditional love, many humans go our entire lives and never really feel that again after we're children. And so that's really all it is. It's love. Love does all the work. Love shows up. Love takes charge. Love decides what to say. Love, just puts out love, love, love. And then people feel loved. And it works. It helps so much. People have such wonderful breakthroughs and transformations just from love, really. It's what it boils down to.
When you look at the impact that you're able to give your clients, and also post what you've been through in life, a lot of us have, our own unique trauma that we went through. But when it comes to growth and how we're able to use that as not just motivation, but as experience that's valuable for what you're doing, coaching and helping people, how do you see yourself being able to use that to have a deeper meaning, and why clients can have a great benefit working with your strategies?
Well, I just think everybody, I really give all the credit to love, to what I call source. A lot of people call it God. Some people call it Mother Earth or whatever, but that's where I give all the credit. Like when we can feel loved again, we can do anything. I think of us, as yourself as a child, when we knew exactly how we felt and exactly what we wanted. Somebody, hurt us, we cried, we struck out, if we were hungry, we said, I'm hungry, and somebody gave us food and then we felt good again. And as adults, we just get further and further. Even as older children, we get taken further and further and away from that. But love brings us back. Love is what we're looking for when we go looking for gambling or drugs or alcohol or pornography or shopping or just talking too much. We're looking for love. And when you get love, all of a sudden everything changes. And it's different for everybody, but everything changes for the better. And it's really beautiful. And it's just love. It's not really me. It's just love.
When you look at self-compassion, how do you help clients to consider that, and also to remember that that is also part of the journey, is being able to not just find compassion, but to be able to express it?
Self-compassion is absolutely the beginning. We can't really be loving towards somebody else if we're not already feeling loved ourselves. It's like, how do you pay somebody out of an empty wallet? How do you give somebody potatoes when there's no potatoes in the sack? How do you give love when you're not getting love? And so that's the first thing. And that's really kind of the final thing too. It's like, as I help people feel loved, as people actually start to feel genuinely loved and appreciated for themselves, then they can start loving themselves again. They don't have to manufacture it. They don't have to sacrifice in order to do it. But as soon as you love yourself, the first thing all of us want to do is turn around and love on somebody else. So that's where all of our gifts, all of our service to others, that's where all of our purpose and mission come from. We have to heal our relationship with ourselves first through love, and then turn around. It's like the airlines say, put the mask on you first, and then turn around and help somebody else that might need it. So it's the same concept. We've got to love ourselves first, but we don't have to go manufacture it. We just have to allow ourselves to feel it, to receive it. It's always there for us. It's always coming right at us. And that's my goal with every single client, is to help them as quickly and as thoroughly as possible get back in touch with the love of source, and then help them apply that to themselves. And then they start just naturally applying it to everything and everyone around them. So it really works.
We're talking to our guest today, Ramona Galey. Go to her website, ramonagaley.com. And today's topic is transforming adversity into opportunity. And transforming adversity into opportunity. I mean, let's just look at how life can be hectic. Life can surprise you and be like, boom, here you go. You weren't expecting me, but here I am. How do you look at, the past and say, you know what, this was good teaching moments for me in order for me to take those lemons that life gave and create that nice lemonade?
Yeah. I used to, be, before my transformation, before my awakening, whatever you want to call it, I was very growth oriented, and I was always pushing myself for growth. But in retrospect, I feel like I was kind of trying to prove something, either to myself, or to my parents, or to a boss, or to a friend, or just, I don't know, to the world, just trying to prove something. And when I started focusing on joy instead of growth, then everything changed, and the growth actually got bigger. So for anybody in your audience that really wants transformation, they want a growth, they have a purpose, they have a mission, maybe they don't know what that is yet, but they're looking for it. That's where it's at. Focus on joy and love kind of interchangeable for me, and feel that yourself, allow yourself to really absorb it. And then it starts to come out in all these really wonderful ways. And the growth is absolutely there. A lot of clients kind of are worried about it at first, like, well, if I focus on growth, how am I going to start my new business? Or how am I going to excel in my job? Or how am I going to be a good, mom or whatever? But it's just miraculous how the changing of the focus really, it just energizes that growth orientation. And we can do absolutely anything. We can be, do, or have anything we want once we really love ourselves and feel that love. It's almost like a power behind us, propelling us forward to anywhere we want to go.
When you look at the opportunities that you're now able to equip your clients with, and how you're able to share this with other platforms about the experience of your clients, what do you hope the legacy can be with everything that you're doing with your services, and how hopefully your clients too can probably put themselves in position to pay it forward?
Yeah. I think I want my legacy to be that every person on the planet, or what we call this physical plane, and we're dealing with, like you were saying earlier, life can just come along and slap you out of the blue sometimes. And if you don't have the skills and that knowledge of being loved, then it starts to eat away at your confidence. It starts to eat away at your vision and all that. But once you come right back, it's not really learning anything new. It's just remembering what it feels like to be loved, to be connected in this universe, to be one of, what might seem like a mass of humanity, but every single one of us is here with a purpose. So if I had a legacy, it would be to really help everyone on the planet remember who they truly are, are, which is pure love, and that they're pure goodness, that their desires are divine, and that as you follow those desires and pursue your own, you have to learn how to discern what it is that you actually want. That's the thing. We get kind of talked out of knowing what we actually want. We get convinced that it's a shiny new car or a donut or a McDonald's hamburger or whatever it is. So a lot of that training is learning how to discern what it is that I actually want. And when I follow that, then everything changes. And if everybody on the planet could just relearn that one thing, no, we don't have to be exactly alike. We don't want to be exactly alike. We could have incredible diversity in this planet and all get along beautifully, because we would all be, that in alignment thing, focusing on what we want in a loving way. We wouldn't have to cheat each other or steal from each other or kill each other or anything like that. We could coexist peacefully, lovingly, and everyone would get what they want.
Sometimes we discuss about letting go and surrender. When it comes to you and how you work with your clients, what are some ways that you try to help them understand that in order for you to turn the page to the next chapter, you got to kind of move forward from where you're used to being?
Yeah. Surrender is such an interesting word. A lot of clients I find have a lot of resistance to that word, and I certainly used to. I love the word now. It's very beautiful to me. What I would say is, when you let go of trying so hard, I think that's mostly what anybody who's in your audience, for example, maybe not somebody who's out, causing wars somewhere. But most people, we're really trying too hard, and letting go or surrendering really means just coming back to being who I truly am. In other words, if I trust that I'm a good person, and if I trust that I can do this, that I have the resources to do this being whatever it is that I want to accomplish, then I can let go. I can surrender, as you call it. I can be who I truly am, which really just means trusting myself, trust that I'm a good person, and trust that whatever's going to come out of me naturally is exactly what everyone on the planet needs to come out of me. Exactly, right? It's not about trying to be something else or do something else or prove anything. The let go and the surrender is really about just trusting and being myself, because my difference is a difference that's needed in this world, or else I wouldn't be here. And it's the same for every single person on the planet. Your difference is why you're here, and it's a huge gift. So please give it to us. That's what I would say.
For those listening, they want more information, they can go to your website, and the website is ramonagaley.com. They can learn about all the different resources you have. You also are an author as well. Before we close, let us know a little bit about your book.
Yeah, I wrote From Lonely to Fearless last year, and it's available on Amazon, From Lonely to Fearless. And really, lonely is a kind of a placeholder. So many times we feel bereft, we feel disconnected, we feel hopeless, we feel whatever it is. And if you will start there and allow yourself to reconnect to yourself, then all of that falls away. And that's what that book is about. I've got a ton of, I think I last counted 41 case studies in there. They're short, it's a short book, but lots of case studies to show. I do some talking about my own background, very openly about what I've been through and how I managed it. And I've got a lot of exercises in there. It's a really wonderful guide for anybody who's feeling out of sorts and wants to get back in sorts, if that's such a thing, like to reconnect with yourself and start feeling good again, because life does chip away at you. And at any age, you can recover what you know to be true, the inside you. And that's what that book will help you do.
Once again, listen on Refocused Radio. We're talking to our guest today, Ramona Galey. You can go to her website, ramonagaley.com, and check out her blog, check out her resources. And if someone wants to get in touch and have you give them some services, what's the best way that they can start on, the first step.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go to that website. My Facebook links and things are on there. You can watch YouTube. You can watch me in action on YouTube. I've got a page on the website that shows me in action with clients as well as other podcast appearances. You can write me at ramonagaley.com. You can reach me through my Facebook profile. You can send me a message there. I get all my messages through Facebook, and I will answer you. And I'd love to hear from anybody who has a question.
Like I always want to say to you, Ramona, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Samaya. I've really appreciated it and really enjoyed it.